This title wasn't written, it was delivered. It was not born from the mind of man, but whispered from the mouth of heaven into the ears of the chosen. And if your eyes have found it, if your heart is trembling now without knowing why, understand this: you have not arrived here by coincidence. You have been summoned. The heavens have coordinated this divine meeting. Archangel Michael, the warrior of light, the guardian of truth, stands weeping, not out of defeat, but out of urgency. His tears are not like ours. His tears are thunder. His tears shake the veil between dimensions. His sorrow carries power. For there is a truth you were meant to hear, a revelation you were meant to receive, and too much time has passed without it reaching your soul. You are being spiritually intercepted. This message is a divine disturbance in your daily rhythm. It is a signal fire lit on your path by an angel who has been trying to reach you. That angel may be Michael himself, or perhaps it is the voice of your grandmother, who passed but never truly left. Maybe it is a guide, a guardian, or a voice you've only heard in dreams. But today their silence broke. Today their message found breath, and their first cry was not rejoice but awaken. You have been walking through a storm with no umbrella, through a war with no armor, and yet somehow you survive. But survival is not enough anymore. Now is the time for reclamation, for restoration, for remembering who you are. There is a spiritual shift already beginning to form around you, a prophetic alignment, a divine recalibration, and this message is your confirmation that heaven has stepped into your timeline. The interference that kept you in the dark is about to be removed. The fog is lifting. But before the breakthrough, there must be revelation. Before the blessing, there must be the warning. And this is that warning. If your heart resonates and your spirit is open, type 555 to activate divine clarity. Let heaven know you're listening now. You're not imagining this. You didn't stumble here by mistake. You weren't scrolling aimlessly. This is your divine interruption. You were summoned to this moment because something sacred has been speaking, but you haven't been hearing it. And now, the silence can no longer be tolerated. I am Archangel Michael, sent to deliver what can no longer be delayed. Heaven is no longer whispering, it is roaring. And though my voice comes with the sword of light, it also comes with the weight of sorrow. For too long you have stood beneath the weight of things that were never yours to carry. You've been silencing your knowing. You've been doubting the whisper within your chest. But now the realm of spirit has broken through, and this message carries fire in its wings. This isn't random. This isn't casual. This isn't content. It's a command. What you are about to hear is not information. It is divine strategy. What you are feeling is not confusion. It's the edge of a revelation that has been circling you for months, waiting for this one sliver in time when your soul would be receptive enough to receive it. You have entered into a prophetic window, a moment where time bends and spirit speaks and illusions collapse. And I, Archangel Michael, have been watching, closely, silently, patiently. As your light was dimmed, your voice was muffled, and your heart was pulled in directions that served every purpose except your own. Enough. You were never meant to remain in this confusion. You were never meant to be distracted this long. Heaven is reclaiming you now. There is a countdown that has already begun, one that the physical eye cannot see, but your spirit has sensed it. You've been waking up feeling pressure in your chest, a knowing that something is shifting even though nothing has yet moved in your physical world. That's not anxiety, that's alignment. That's not stress, that's spiritual positioning. You are being aligned with the truth of who you are, the truth of what's been hindering you, and the truth of what you must now release. The divine is not asking for your permission to intervene. It is already happening. The unseen is already moving. The silence before the storm has already passed. Now comes the voice. Now comes the thunder. And this is that voice. I am not merely speaking to you. I am speaking into you, into the bones of your soul. into the parts of you that forgot your divinity. This is a sacred call to consciousness. You must awaken, not partially, not momentarily, but completely. You must listen, not just with ears, but with spirit. You must feel these words as more than a message. You must let them pierce the armor that pain built around your heart. For too long you've tolerated what weakened you. For too long you excused what poisoned you. You've kept giving chances to what only took from you. But now, the divine record is shifting. What has been hidden is about to be revealed. What has been tolerated will be judged. What hath been lost will be restored. But before the justice there must be truth. Before the restoration, there must be awakening. And this moment, this sacred moment, is your awakening. Heaven is watching how you respond to this message. Spirit is hovering. The cloud of divine presence surrounds you now. This is the atmosphere of breakthrough. Do not harden your heart. Do not close your eyes. The scales are being removed. The chains are loosening. The interference is trembling. And I, Archangel Michael, have come with the sword of severing and the shield of protection. I cry not because you are weak, but because you have forgotten your power. But this is the moment you remember. If you feel the truth vibrating through your soul, type 777 to signal to heaven that you are awake, aligned, and ready for what comes next. You felt it before you saw it. The shift in energy. The heaviness in the room when they entered. The tension in your body that you tried to name as overthinking, but it wasn't overthinking. It was warning. It was spirit trying to scream through the fog of your conditioning. Because there has been interference. Hidden, silent, smiling interference. It came wrapped in love. It came wearing the mask of help. It came speaking the language of care. But it was never love. It was control. It was possession. It was spiritual suffocation, dressed as concern. You gave them the benefit of the doubt. You excused the patterns. You called it a phase. But your intuition knew. Even when you didn't have the evidence, your soul had the knowing. And now the veil is being pulled back. This wasn't confusion. It was calculation. It wasn't chaos. It was control. There was a presence that wanted to keep you asleep, keep you questioning your worth, keep you dependent, distracted, and derailed. And the most dangerous part, they didn't do it with cruelty. They did it with charm. They disarmed you with softness. They mirrored your light, so you would think they were safe. But they were only safe as long as you stayed small. I, Archangel Michael, watched as your light began to flicker in their shadow. I saw the spiritual fatigue that settled into your bones, the dreams that slowed, the faith that quieted. And still, you kept giving. You kept believing in what could be. But beloved, what could be has never existed outside of illusion. That relationship, that friendship, that agreement, whatever it was not divine. It was assigned by a lower energy to keep you from seeing your true elevation. And now, heaven is revealing it to you, not because you're weak, but because you're ready. Ready to break free. Ready to take your power back. Ready to see without the filter of fantasy. The delay in your life wasn't random. The exhaustion wasn't just burnout. The confusion wasn't a lack of faith. It was interference. Strategic interference sent to entangle you in a web of emotional obligation and spiritual guilt. But it ends now. The divine timeline is calling for clarity. The deception is being unmasked. The energy that fed off your light is being exposed. The spiritual leech, whether person or pattern, cannot remain hidden under heaven's gaze. Not anymore. This is divine confrontation. And hear me clearly. It was never your fault. You weren't naive. You weren't foolish. You were pure. You were open-hearted. You were trusting. And that trust was weaponized against you. But now that same heart, that same spirit, that same light, it will become your sword. The same eyes that were blinded will now become blazing with discernment. You are not to carry shame. You are not to carry regret. You are to carry truth. You are to carry awareness. Because now you can no longer be deceived. The spirit of truth has entered your atmosphere. They underestimated who you would become when you remembered who you are. They never expected the veil to lift. But it is lifting. You will not just walk away, you will rise. You will not just survive, you will reclaim. And every time you doubted your knowing, heaven saw it. And heaven wept. But no more tears. Now comes the fire. Now comes the severing. Now comes the justice. If the section revealed what your soul already knew, type 999 to mark the ending of the interference and the beginning of divine clarity. This is the spiritual signal that says, I see now. You thought it was just a dream. But it wasn't. It was a visitation. That snake slithering toward you in your sleep, that wasn't fear, it was revelation. That locked door, that rising water, that endless hallway you couldn't escape in your dreams, those were not just fragments of your imagination. Those were spiritual messages encoded in symbolism, warning you, guiding you, calling you to attention. You thought they were dreams, but they were alarms. Alarms sent to awaken your spirit, alarms sent to protect your destiny. You've been seeing numbers, repeating, pulsing through your reality like spiritual fingerprints. 111, 333, 444, 555. Sometimes you brushed them off. Other times you felt chills down your spine. But what you need to know now is this. Those numbers weren't coincidences. They were divine codes. Celestial timestamps marking moments when heaven was brushing up against your reality. When angels were pressing into your timeline to remind you, you are not alone, and you are not forgotten. Every time you saw 222, you were being told alignment is near. Every time you saw 555, you were being prepared for sudden change. Every 1111 was a gate. Every 444 was a fortress. Your body has been speaking, too. Waking at 3:33 a.m. That wasn't insomnia. That was visitation. The heat in your palms, that tingling in your crown, that sudden exhaustion out of nowhere. You thought you were tired. But you were being downloaded. You were being spiritually rewired. Heaven was upgrading your frequency. You were being refined through your symptoms, aligned through what felt like weakness. The shaking, the tears, the weight that came out of nowhere, those were birth pangs of a divine emergence. You weren't breaking, you were becoming. Have you noticed how certain objects kept falling? That photo frame, that necklace, that cup. Things breaking around you weren't accidents. They were symbols, prophetic confirmations that the old is crumbling, that what was fragile can no longer hold the weight of your new. Broken glass, dead batteries, malfunctioning electronics, these are not mere technicalities. They are manifestations of energetic clearing. Your environment is being stripped of anything incompatible with your upgrade. Don't mourn the mess. Celebrate the shift. Even nature has been speaking. That bird that landed in front of you and didn't fly away. That butterfly that circled your head. That cat that wouldn't stop staring. The bee that showed up in your room with no explanation. These are not insects or animals. These are messengers. These are angelic confirmations sent to say, yes, it's real. Yes, you're hearing correctly. Yes, you're waking up. You are not going crazy. You are going prophetic. Your ancestors have been near. A certain scent out of nowhere, a song playing at the perfect time, the feeling of someone standing behind you when no one is there. You weren't imagining that. You were being covered. You were being guided. The veil is thinner than you think. You are more watched over than you realize. These signs, these moments, these confirmations were never accidents. They were divine breadcrumbs, pulling you toward this message, this awakening, this very moment in time. You kept saying, I just need a sign. And heaven replied, we've sent dozens. But you weren't ready. You weren't still. You were being tested. But now the signs come in waves. And they are intensifying. Not to scare you, but to prepare you. To remind you that you are divinely watched. Divinely led. Divinely protected. Nothing around you is random. Everything is speaking. And now, your spirit is finally listening. If the signs you see now make sense, type 111 in the comments to confirm your alignment with prophetic truth. Let heaven know you are recognizing the codes and walking in awareness. The time for shadows is ending. The time for deception has expired. The masquerade that has danced around your destiny is now trembling under divine light. What was hidden is surfacing. What was veiled is being unveiled. What was whispered in darkness is now echoing in the open. I come to tell you, not to ask you, to prepare yourself. Because the divine unmasking has already begun. It is not a future event. It is a current eruption. The illusions that clung to you, the spirits that tried to hide behind smiles and false intentions, they are being exposed. And not by your hands. By heavens. Do not think you must do the exposing. That is not your battle. You are not the executioner, you are the witness. Stand still. Remain aligned. Let the divine do what only the divine can do. For heaven is already moving. The angels have been dispatched. The sword of truth has been drawn. And even now, conversations are being had in rooms you cannot see. Mistakes are being made by the ones who played a game with your trust. Their mask is slipping, and they don't even realize it yet. But you will. You'll hear something strange in a conversation. You'll notice a change in tone. Someone will slip and say what they didn't mean to say, and that slip will be your sign. Dreams will reveal more. In your sleep, the spirit realm will speak clearly. Watch the faces. Watch the colors. Pay attention to what is handed to you and what is taken away. The truth is not hiding from you anymore. It is rushing toward you. You'll feel it in your stomach. You'll feel it in your bones. You'll feel the internal alarm ringing louder. Because the lie can't live next to your rising anymore. You're too close to the breakthrough. The interference is desperate, but it's too late. The exposure has begun. But listen to me closely now. Do not allow yourself to become entangled in their drama. Do not defend yourself. Do not chase explanations. The truth will stand on its own. The mask is falling, and the light is flooding in. You are not being asked to fight. You are being asked to watch. This is a spiritual justice in motion. Every lie told about you will be reversed. Every manipulation will be made clear. Every delay created by deception is about to become acceleration under heaven's hand. The divine is balancing the scales. The one who sought to keep you bound by confusion, by guilt, by emotional hooks, they are no longer hidden behind spiritual fog. And you must resist the urge to go back and pull the veil down yourself. It is already being removed. Step back. Step into discernment. Your silence now is power. Your stillness is your shield. Your alignment is your weapon. And I, Archangel Michael, stand between you and the chaos, sword drawn, decree in hand. The Holy Court has ruled. Exposure is inevitable. When the truth comes, it will come swiftly. It may arrive through someone else's confession. A mistake. A journal entry discovered. A screenshot sent by accident. A private conversation overheard. Or maybe, just maybe, it will come when their own words betray them. But when it comes, do not flinch. You not doubt. You not second guess. You prayed for clarity. You asked for confirmation. You pleaded for direction. Now it arrives not softly but boldly. Not partially but fully. And it will settle the storm in your soul once and for all. This is not the time to fear what is surfacing. This is the time to embrace the justice that is overdue. Your discernment was never wrong. It was divine. The pressure you felt was prophetic. The silence you kept was sacred. And now, The truth rises, not to hurt you, but to heal you. The pain was not for nothing. The waiting was not wasted. The silence was strategy. The delay was protection. And now, the justice is here. If you are ready for truth to rise and the mask to fall, type 444 in the comments as a declaration of divine justice. Let the angelic realm know you are standing in alignment with holy exposure. You've cried over what you thought was lost. You've mourned what you believed slipped through your fingers. But hear me now, nothing divinely ordained for you can ever be taken. It can only be delayed, redirected, or protected. And I know, yes, I know, it felt like you were left behind while others soared. You gave your best. You loved with purity. You worked without recognition. And in return, you received silence, betrayal, or sabotage. But what you couldn't see then, and what I'm revealing now, is this. What you thought was being withheld was actually being shielded. There were blessings heaven had prepared for you, but the energy around you was not clean enough to hold them. Had you received what you were asking for in that moment, it would have become corrupted in the wrong hands. The blessing would have become a curse if delivered into a tainted atmosphere. So yes, things were delayed. Not to punish you, but to protect what was holy within you. There was interference, jealousy wrapped in smiles, manipulation cloaked in intimacy, competition hiding in those you trusted, and they were siphoning your light. Every time you gave them access, your momentum slowed. Every time you opened your heart, their shadow expanded. But no more. The delay ends now. You lost time. You lost money. You lost peace. Some of you even lost sleep, relationships, opportunities, even pieces of yourself in the process. You were drained, distracted, detoured. You were made to feel as if you were crazy, unstable, or asking for too much. But what you were really asking for was clarity, was purity, was partnership with integrity. And those things could never be birthed in the middle of spiritual sabotage. So heaven pressed pause, not to deny you, but to preserve you. Because what's coming next must not be contaminated by what you're being released from. Let me say this with the full weight of divine power. You didn't lose it. You were being preserved for it. And it for you. The career breakthrough, the relationship alignment, the health turnaround, the financial overflow, it's still yours. It hasn't vanished. It's been hovering, waiting for the divine green light, waiting for the fog to lift, waiting for the interference to be removed. And now that clarity is rising, your season of manifestation is reactivating. You are not starting over. You are starting fresh. There's a difference. Starting over means repeating. Starting fresh means restored with wisdom. You need to hear this clearly. You were not forgotten. You were being protected in ways you didn't understand. That no was divine shielding. That closed door was a celestial barricade. The detour was an angel in disguise. If you had received the breakthrough while still yoked to interference, it would have turned into heartbreak, warfare, and confusion. But now that the veil is lifting, now that the dissection is breaking, the blessing can land in peace. The timing of your life is not behind. It's prophetic. And what is coming will make sense of every silent season, every lonely night, every delayed prayer. The very thing you thought had passed you by will now come back to find you. But this time it will find a version of you who is ready, who is whole, and who will no longer tolerate interference. So hold your head high, warrior. You're not behind. You're aligned. You haven't failed. You've been preserved. What's coming will not resemble what you lost. It will be greater, because it will be divine. If this word confirms what your spirit already sensed, type 888 in the comments to welcome divine restoration. Heaven is restoring what was delayed, and your agreement activates it. You may not have realized it, but the shift already began. It didn't come with thunder, and didn't shout. It whispered. It breathed. It moved like a still wind through your bones. The energy around you feels different now, doesn't it? The air feels heavier some days, but quieter too. That's not your imagination. That's your soul acclimating to peace. Because breakthrough isn't always loud. It doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it comes with stillness, with tears you didn't expect, with breath that suddenly feels deeper. This shift won't be loud. It will be sacred. You cried, and then suddenly, you didn't need to anymore. You worried, and then realized the heaviness had lifted. Not because the world changed overnight, but because you did. What once triggered panic now stirs discernment. What once pulled you in emotionally now meets silence. That silence isn't you shutting down. It's you leveling up. The breakthrough began the moment you stopped explaining yourself. The moment you stopped chasing validation. The moment you stopped giving energy to what no longer respected your spirit. That moment, that was liberation. That was you breaking the cycle. The one who drained you may have gone silent. The patterns that kept you bound may have suddenly disappeared. Don't chase it. Don't question it. That silence is a gift. That silence is spiritual proof that the chain has broken. The interference has lost access. It's not rejection. It's release. Heaven has severed soul ties, energy cords, emotional traps that kept you repeating lessons meant to end seasons ago. And though you may not fully understand it yet, your body does. The deeper sleep, the sharper clarity, that hunger for stillness. Those are signs of internal shift. This is not just an energetic reset. This is a full system upgrade. The Holy Spirit has stepped into your energetic field and rewired your frequency. You've been rebooted for divine flow. A tension in your chest you carrying for so long, it's softening now. Your decisions are no longer based on survival, but on peace. You no longer need to defend your boundaries with fire. They are now held by divine authority. You're no longer pleading for people to see your value. You embody it. You're no longer bending to be accepted. You are standing to be crowned. And yes, it may feel unfamiliar. You may be tempted to go back to what was, out of habit, out of comfort, out of guilt. But do not return. Do not reopen the door heaven has sealed. Do not revive what God has buried. This shift has a cost, and that cost is letting go of who you had to be in order to survive. That version of you is being retired. You're not just healing. You're evolving. You're not just releasing people. You're releasing frequencies. Frequencies of desperation. Frequencies of fear. Frequencies of delay. Your spirit has been tuned to a higher resonance. From this moment forward, things may leave your life quickly. Let them. You may feel misunderstood. Stay rooted. The ones meant to walk with you at this level will not be confused by your clarity. They will not be threatened by your light. They will rise to meet you. You don't need to shrink anymore. You don't need to explain anymore. Your energy is your announcement. Your peace is your power. And your stillness is your weapon. Let the shift complete itself. Thank you for being part of our growing faith community. If our videos uplift and bless you, consider supporting our mission. Please subscribe my channel. Every act of support helps us carry this divine message farther and wider, into hearts that need it most. If you're feeling the shift and ready to seal it, type 000 in the comments. That is heaven's way of saying, the old cycle is closed. The new has begun. Just when you thought it was over, when your heart began to settle, your mind began to clear, your sleep returned, the interference tries one final tactic. A return. A message. A familiar voice. A tug at your heart. And though it might seem harmless, even sincere, understand this now and understand it well. This is the final test. It is not reconciliation. It is not divine timing. It is not a second chance. It is a spiritual trap. A hook sent to see if you're truly free. A bait dressed in comfort, but soaked in poison. They may apologize. They may cry. They may call it a misunderstanding. They may even admit everything, just enough to make you question whether to open the door again. They'll say the right words. They'll reference memories. They'll call you by the version of yourself that no longer exists. But hear me, beloved, hear me clearly. This is not your confirmation. This is your confrontation. This is not a sign of redemption. It is a test of your discernment. They'll offer peace, but it's poisoned. And if you drink it again, the cycle will restart. I know it hurts. I know the part of you that wants to believe in their transformation. But spiritual transformation is not found in their mouth. It's found in their actions. And their actions have already shown you the truth. You not doubt your discernment now. You have come too far. This is not the time to be merciful with what God is trying to remove. You are not abandoning them. You are honoring yourself. You are not punishing them. You are protecting your promise. This final test is not about them. It's about you. Will you choose your growth over your grief? Will you choose your peace over the past? Do not look back. Do not explain yourself. You owe no blur to Guvuin. You owe no response to manipulation. You owe no presence to someone who only saw your value when it served their agenda. You are not their lifeline. You are not their redemption. You are your own liberation. And the test of this moment is whether you will believe that. Whether you will finally treat your healing as sacred. Whether you will honor the version of yourself that heaven fought to awaken. They may show up in dreams. They may appear in your messages. They may reach out through someone else. Every time, it will seem soft. It will seem small. But each one is a hook, a door, a desert. You must not open it. You must not re-engage. You must not romanticize what nearly ruined you. Their return is not evidence of growth. It is the echo of a pattern seeking permission to re-enter your field. And if you let it in, you do not just delay your blessing, you compromise your breakthrough. You are not wrong for missing them. You are not weak for remembering. But missing someone is not the same as being meant for them. Remembrance is not reason. Let the memory rise, but let it float past. Do not sit in it. Do not call it back. This moment is about self-honor, about legacy, about spiritual maturity. You asked for healing. This is part of it. You asked for clarity. This is it. You asked for liberation. This is the final step. And you are strong enough to take it. The version of you that would have responded no longer exists. Let them knock on the door of your old self, but may they find silence. May they find peace. May they find nothing. Not because you are cold, but because you are crowned. Because you now understand. Your silence is not emptiness, it is alignment. Your boundary is not bitterness, it is wisdom. You are not rejecting them, you are choosing yourself. If you felt the weight of this final test knocking on your soul, hold your position. Do not surrender your progress to a past that never honored it. Stand still. Heaven is watching. And I, Archangel Michael, am guarding your gate. Thank you for walking this sacred path with us. If this message has blessed you, please consider supporting this divine mission with super thanks, super chat, super stickers, or by becoming a channel member. Your generosity fuels the light we spread to others still searching for hope. If you are ready to pass this test and close the door for good, type 1111 in the comments. That is the number of divine alignment and new beginnings. Let heaven know, I choose myself now. It is done. The veil has lifted. The cycle has closed. The interference has been silenced. The test hath been passed. And now, beloved, I speak this over you with all the authority of heaven. You are free. You are sealed. You are restored. What was hidden hath been exposed. What was draining you has been severed. What was delaying you has been removed. The deception has been unmasked. The final test has been passed. And now the heavens rejoice, not because of what was lost, but because of what hath been reclaimed. Your clarity, your peace, your discernment, your alignment, your divine identity. You are no longer the version of yourself that tolerated sabotage disguised as support. You are no longer the soul that begged to be seen. You are no longer walking through fog and calling it fitted. The fog is gone. The light is here. Let it be declared now, not only in your life, but in the spiritual realms. The cycle is broken. The attachments are severed. The old narrative is erased. And you are walking in resurrected authority. This is not just healing. This is inheritance. This is not just closure. This is coronation. You are being crowned with wisdom, surrounded with light, escorted by angels into a timeline that no longer includes sabotage, confusion, or delay. You have said yes to truth. You have stood still in the test. And now, heaven responds with acceleration. Let these affirmations become the echo in your spirit. I am aligned with heaven's order. I walk in divine clarity and protection. The interference is broken. The blessing flows freely. What I lost has returned to me multiplied. I am no longer waiting. I am walking into fulfillment. You are now marked, sealed, protected. And as the archangel assigned to your truth, I decree this. No weapon formed against your mind, your heart, your path, or your promise shall prosper. The storm has passed. The test has been endured. And your reward will not be small. Your reward will match the weight of the warfare you survive. There is glory after this. There is peace after this. There is restoration after this, not in fragments, but in full. Now lift your voice. Lift your frequency. Type your agreement. Type Amen in the comments if you receive this message. Type your blessing number, 111, 333, 555, and let the angelic realms see that your spirit says yes, that your soul is awake, that your heart is ready. Heaven saw you. Heaven defended you. And now heaven exalts you. The cycle is broken. The energy is cleared. The blessing is released. You are free. You are chosen. You are crowned.